Okay, so I've had a leak for quite a while, and I've been working to try to figure out where it's coming from. And I know that it's been filling this, and sometimes I put diapers everywhere to absorb any water. There's a hole that the previous owner drilled through the fiberglass there, and sometimes there's water in there, so I've stuffed that in there to dry it up. But that's dry. I've left it for 5 or 6 days just to see if it's coming from anywhere else. I've even seen some under this tank, but I've kind of ruled out the water tank because the water is salt water. It's not fresh. But that's dry, bone dry. All of these are bone dry, bone dry, bone dry. But this one was swimming. I had 7 of these, what is it? Sort of like a soup container from Sainsbury's or something like that. And it's about 1 liter. So 7 liters of water after a week. So it's about 1 liter a day, which is kind of what it already is. The previous owner also drilled some holes through the fiberglass, I presume for drainage. They're kind of all over the boat, and it's definitely coming from this side, from these two. You can see there's a bit of water buildup there, and here about every couple of minutes or so there'll be like a little blip and a bubble of water will come out. But here's the thing, right? I've checked all of my through holes. So like under the sink, that through hole, it's fine. It's not leaking. Everything's good. It works fine. Same with up here at the mast, the base of the mast. Sometimes when it rains, there'll be rainwater that runs down that, but that's not it because that's dry. It's not rained in a while. Under the sink, the through hole is fine. The heads on that side, the through hole is fine. The thing that I think it is that we have a sail drive under here. And the only other place that I've seen water come in is down there in the engine bay, which is under this right here. Right now, it's fairly dry, but I'm sort of thinking that the skirt on the outside of the sail drive is the issue. It's not really enough coming through that sleeve to get into the engine bay, and I've actually had a diesel engine technician come out and have a look at it just to give me his opinion, and he said that the skirt around the sail drive is definitely not leaking. It could be leaking any number of other places, but it's definitely not that skirt. But that he's talking about the one on the inside, what he can see, but the one on the outside that's under the boat. The only reason that I suspect is because when I had it hauled out to anti-foul, I kind of didn't know what I was doing. I'm, world's biggest idiot. And so as we were scraping the old stuff off, we scraped that skirt loose. And so I went ahead and just cleaned everything up around it. And then I anti-fouled like normal. And then the last day before going into the water, I put like a sealant, like a gasket sealant from a diesel engine for like a head gasket, and it was kind of the best thing that I could find at the time. There was nothing really that was appropriate in any of the shops locally, so I bought that and I put that on, and the guy assured me that it was fine and that even underwater it would be fine, and I believed him. There you go, mistake number 1. But I think that gasket sealant is not very good, and it might be holding that gasket on there, but it's letting some water come through. And I suspect that before coming in through the engine bay, it's actually seeping sort of, because there's a hole in the boat, and these are double skinned with foam. And so it's coming in and getting into the foam. So I suspect that is almost certainly where the water's coming in. And it's about 1 liter a day. That kind of makes sense for that much to just trickle in. And it's definitely salt water, so it's coming in from the bottom. I'm not worried about the boat sinking. These ATAPs are famously unsinkable. big quotes, right? But still, you don't want water coming in. I mean, I can bail it out. A liter a day is not too bad. I can bail that out. I can stay on top of it. And like I say, it's none of the interior skin fittings. You know, your guess is as good as mine. I think that's it, because I did that in a real kind of slapdash kind of way. And I should have kept the boat out for, I mean, they were here on the Costa Brava, they really pressure you to get the boat in and out as fast as you can, just because there's a lot of boats and they don't like boats sitting on the hard. But I should have just kept the boat on the hard for another week and ordered the right stuff from Germany, which is what you have to do. Here in Spain, the right stuff is hard to come by. It's very expensive, and if you do get it, you have to get it from somewhere like Valencia or Barcelona, and it could take 2 or 3 weeks to arrive and be double the price of what you'd pay if you just bought the right stuff from a company in England or Germany and had it shipped up. So anyway, I'm paying for it now. But hey ho, I mean, the bilge is relatively dry. I've got, like I say, I've got diapers everywhere. Another reason why they don't like you staying on the hard is because there is no permanent boatyard here. They basically take the parking lot, the car park, and take half of it and turn it into a boatyard. And then as soon as on June 1st, they give it back to the cars. So there's a short period of time. They just want you to come out, paint, and go in. They don't want you to do any real work. So I might have to go up the coast. There's a permanent boatyard in La Scala, so I might have to go up there, if not Palamos. Yeah, so back in February, I think it was, I had been hemming and hawing about what to do about my deck and anti-slick pads, because they were very old and very ugly, very worn. It was the original ones from 1989. And I spoke to a lot of different people, and a lot of them just said, you know, look, if they still got their anti-slip properties, just glue them back down. And they did. They were more or less still anti-slip. But they were just filthy and ugly and brown. And I just didn't want that look. And I had on a previous boat, I had some Treadmaster, which I hated. I know people love it, people swear by it, but with a little bit of time, a few years, the sun starts to wear it and it starts to come off like in a powder. It starts to powder up. And so, you know, you'll sit down. I had blue Treadmaster on that boat. And I would, you know, you'd sit down and you'd stand up and the trousers would be blue from all the powder from, you know, the sun-worn, sun-eaten Treadmaster rubber. And I know that might just be a bad example, but I've had it happen on friends' boats as well, where they had the white Treadmaster, and I'd go, and after about 4 or 5 years, it winds up just being powdery, and you sit down and everything turns white, you know. So yeah, I just wasn't too keen on that. And so I decided to go with KiwiGrip, despite a lot of people warning me against it. A lot of people hate KiwiGrip because they say that it can't keep the boat clean. But I have to say, the boat didn't look clean anyway. I mean, with that brown anti-slip pads, non-skid on the deck. I mean, I could paint it. That was another option I thought about, was painting it and putting just deck paint and some bits of sand or something. But I decided to go with KiwiGrip. And so I bought it. I got it all ready to go. I got rid of all the pads. I sanded everything. And then the weather here in the Costa Brava just went south. I mean, we've had the wettest, coldest winter and spring that we've had in living memory. From the end of February, when I stripped all these pads off, until I want to say the middle of March, it rained almost every day. It rained certainly over a month. It rained every single day. And then after that, it rained like every other day. And the humidity was really high. Even on days when it didn't rain, it was 90% humidity. So I just left it and 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 left it. And now the weather is really nice for the last couple of weeks. and it's meant to stay this way for the summer, pretty much. So I want to go ahead and get it on before it gets too hot. A little bit tricky going around some of this stuff. That's the only spot I have to tie the boat off, so I'm just going to have to be really careful around that rope. So that's what it looks like finished. I haven't done the entire deck, I've just done these right here as a kind of a test. And I'm going to leave it till tomorrow to see how they dry. And if I'm happy with them, I'll repeat it further up. And if not, I'll modify the formula and do another test patch. Here you go. So this is yesterday's deck. Nice and gripped. Here, let me grab this bag off you. That side's still wet, so we're sort of stepping around it. But this is today's work. So the work continues on Carmelita. You see my diapers that I was saying before. I've kind of come to the conclusion 100%. The leak definitely is coming from the skirt on the sail drive. I mean, I've just been over it a million times in my mind. And it's the only thing that where I cut a corner. And I guess, you know, let that be a lesson to you. Don't cut corners. So I've got a new skirt ordered. It's on the way. They don't call it a skirt. They call it a external rubber seal or something like that. But you know what I mean. It's like the rubber mat that goes on the outside around the edge. In my stupidity, I thought, because I'd only ever dealt with single skinned hulls, boats that was just one piece of fiberglass. And I kind of stupidly imagined that that was just there kind of as belt and braces, or kind of like just to keep a bit of water off of the screws and bolts and nuts and everything, but that the real work was being done by the bellows inside. And so I just kind of thought, well, that's not, you know, I'll just stick it on there however, it's no big deal. I didn't take into account, first of all, that's bad practice, right? Because, you know, belts and braces. But I didn't take into account the fact that these etaps are double skinned with foam in between. And so when they cut the hole, it's got the foam kind of exposed a little bit. And so that water that gets in is getting into the foam, traveling along the foam, and finding the spot, the lowest spot in the boat where it can come out, which is right here in this bilge. So I've got everything ordered. I've got the Sikaflex adhesive that is recommended by Volvo and Yanmar. And I can't remember the number. I'll tell you the number when I put it on. And I've got some thickened epoxy, which I'm going to put all around that circle. So just in case any water gets in, it doesn't get into the foam. And I'm going to put a new rubber seal on the outside. Supposedly it's coming next week. I've spoken to the boss in the yard here, who said that he can pull the boat out and let it sit for a day or so while I do that. Okay, so it took 2 days. We could have done it in one long day, but we just did yesterday half a day, half a boat, and today half a day, half a boat. And now we're gonna go and enjoy a well-earned swim in the beach over there. As far as the sail drive leak that I've got, the boat's coming out next week. I've got all the parts now, and it'll come out for 1 day. sit on the heart, and I'll go ahead and I'll fix it. And I'm 100% sure that's going to solve the leak. But one more thing down. We got the deck done. We got the KiwiGrip on. We got the sail drive happening next week. And then we're ready. A little bit more bouncy than it looks. Because from out here it looks flat. But it was really, I guess because there's not enough wind to keep it in a single direction, sort of swirling around in circles, swelling, rolling.